Good morning and welcome to Brewcast, a podcast initiative by Brew My Brand. Brewcast, because every brand deserves a voice. Come, let's brew something beautiful.
Pour a thought, stir a dream, blend the heart with the brand and steam. Whispers rise, voices shine, brewed with soul, one word at a time.
This is Brewcast, Episode 5. Chapter 2 of The Girl from the Hills, featuring Pavitra Yudhishthir. That little girl from the Nilgiris, she never stopped wondering about life, about meaning, about what lay beyond the visible. Her story, as you've seen, has always been one of curiosity and courage. But what shaped her within was something far deeper, a quiet fascination for the mind, the unseen world of thoughts, emotions, and consciousness.
I was always curious about both the inner world and the outer world from when I was a little girl, like I mentioned earlier. But the real pivot came in grade 8 when I stumbled upon books that completely shifted how I looked at life. Books like Many Lives, Many Masters, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and The Alchemist. Around the same time, I was also initiated into transcendental meditation. All of this opened me to the fascinating potential of the human mind, its ability to shape reality and go beyond.
As years passed, that curiosity evolved into purpose. Pavitra went on to study the science of the mind more deeply, becoming a certified practitioner of NLP, cognitive behavioral therapy, and a clinical hypnotherapist under Dr. Paul McKenna. Her insights on identity and awareness are profound and piercingly true.
Most of who we think we are is not entirely us. Of course, we are part of a bigger picture, but that's another story. In many ways, we are patched together with borrowed voices and unhealed wounds, some our own, some inherited. What we call self, me, myself, my identity is largely shaped by our parents, our environment, our peers, what we consume, and the stories passed down through generations. Some people wake up to this truth when they begin working on themselves, but many, unfortunately, never do. They carry on living a life scripted by others, never once meeting their authentic self. To me, this is the greatest loss of a lifetime. Take something as simple as self-worth. Many attach it to the social status or believe that stability is more important than doing what we love. But if you really look closely, even those are borrowed thoughts, not original truths. Sad, right?
How mind-blowing and hard-hitting that truth is. Because in her words, she reminds us that awakening begins when we realize how much of ourselves we've never truly met. Her deep reflections on human behavior and her on-ground work with parents and children eventually culminated in Studio Hunave, her sanctuary for creative expression, exploration, and growth. Here, art meets awareness, creation meets healing.
People at large are still very, very unaware when it comes to art or creativity. Most of them still assume that art is only for children or just a way of expression. But to me, art is divinity in disguise, because if God heals, so does art. When life feels heavy is when we naturally withdraw and turn inward. We begin to mine the depths of our inner world, right? That's where archetypes, metaphors, and our truths live. That introspection fuels creativity. Neuroscience actually shows that emotional pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. But when we create, the brain releases dopamine and endorphins, which soothe pain and stress. Take Van Gogh, for example. His suffering gave us a piece of beauty that continues to heal hearts across generations. Till now, his shows are on around the world. He painted the Starry Night while in an asylum at the depth of his mental illness. So what emerged from there was not despair, but one of the most hopeful, luminous visions of the night sky that humanity has ever seen. His art to me is alchemy. Then there is this piece called Guernica, a massive mural standing 11 feet tall and 25 feet wide, made by Picasso. It is still one of the most powerful indictments against war ever created. This painting was Picasso's response to the bombing of the ancient town of Guernica, where Nazi Germans and Italian bombers wiped out 3/4 of it in just about 3 hours. This is a universal scream against violence, this particular piece. Having said that, have wars and violence stopped? No. But art speaks the language of the collective wound of grief, for hope, and for longing.
Through Studio Hunaway, Pavitra has spent years mentoring educators and reimagining learning spaces as a living dialogue between creativity and consciousness. For nearly 2 decades, she has mastered and merged diverse art forms, expressive therapies, and leadership, crafting spaces that heal, inspire, and ignite imagination. And somewhere along that journey, all her thoughts, philosophies, and lived experiences found a new home. Between the pages of her soon-to-be launched book, The 6 Codes of Conscious Creativity.
My favorite topic. Conscious creativity to me is the ability to create with awareness, not just producing something, but being present to why we are creating, how we are creating, and what energy we are bringing into that process. It's indispensable because we are creating every single moment of our lives. This very conversation we are having right now, the relationship it nurtures, the solution we are arriving at through it, even the way we show up every single day, from the moment we wake up to the dreams we have at night, it's all an act of creativity. Most of the time, we do this unconsciously. We repeat patterns, wait for an inspiration to strike, blame the blocks, and live on autopilot. But when we become conscious, we realize that we are the creators of our thoughts, our emotions, our ego, our anxiety, even our illness. So we see how much of our inner and outer life is something we have been crafting all along. That's when creation turns intentional. We begin to create peace in our mornings, joy in our conversations, and space to develop the art of noticing or prioritize what truly matters. From there, we begin to create healing, immunity, wisdom, and even philosophy. So, conscious creativity to me is a great opportunity to transform the ordinary into extraordinary.
As she shares about her upcoming book, The 6 Codes of Conscious Creativity, her words feel like an offering, an invitation. really for all of us who are constantly creating, consciously or otherwise. On a day when darkness is not just an absence of light, but an acceptance of the unknown, where growth isn't always visible and the unfinished still holds power, this book is my invitation for you to step into that power. Her words linger long after they've spoken. We wish her the very best for its launch and hope that creators and the creator within every human finds inspiration and awakening through its pages. Beyond books and classrooms, Pavitra's work extends to rural schools through outreach programs that nurture creativity and curiosity among children.
What I always take back is the children's curiosity. It just melts my heart. They come up to me and ask, Akka, can I touch your cheeks? Or Akka, do you leave your hair open every day? Because my parents don't allow me to. The world is busy talking about AI and technology, and yet for these children, tiny moments open up a whole world of wonder, longing, and imagination. It's such a beautiful reminder every time that creativity and curiosity live in the small, ordinary moments, and no technology can ever spark this joy and connection.
Her voice and message soon found a global stage at TEDx, where she shared her story with the same authenticity and warmth that define her.
In my TEDx talk, I shared this funny moment when a child read BMTC as Bamataka, and how I loved the quirkiness of the word so much that I turned it into a reminder of something far more meaningful. The 3 blocks that often hold us back while creating. B, the fear of being bashed up. M, our mind-made stories. And T, the resistance to tune inward. And then comes C, a nudge to consciously create. What's interesting about this word is that it can remain a playful reminder, or it can open the door to deep self-reflection. For example, before I paint, I always ask questions like, would other people's opinion matter if I made this painting? Am I creating for approval or for my own truth? Is this story I'm painting helping me expand or inviting me to heal? The questions change from time to time, but once I've checked in with myself, I let go and simply let it all flow.
From the misty hills of the Nilgiris to classrooms, boardrooms, studios, and stages, her journey stands as a celebration of courage, creativity, and conscious living. She has inspired me since I was a little girl, and today she inspires countless others, artists, educators, parents, and dreamers alike. Though my narration of her may sound like beating my own drum, I truly believe the world deserves to hear her story, to be inspired just as I always have. Despite her many achievements, she has always chosen humility over spotlight, letting her work speak louder than words. And so, this story is my small way of honoring a spirit that continues to heal, create, and awaken the world around her. Because in her journey lies a universal truth that every one of us carries within the strength to bloom, to rise, and to shine. The power is within, for every woman, for every man. More power to you. If you had to leave our listeners with one message about creativity and life, what would it be?
I would say your life is your canvas. Take charge, play with it, and create it the way you truly want it. If anything, creativity and art teach us that it's okay to make mistakes. You can always repaint, repair, and start all over again.
And as the mist lifts from the hills, so does her story. A gentle reminder that every ending is but another beginning in disguise.
When I was a little girl, I was good at many things, yet I always thought that I was a jack of all trades but a master of none. When life happened, I realized there was more to it and that it's actually better than being a master of just one. What I'm trying to say is that real happiness to me is knowing the meaning of who you are becoming, regardless of what you're doing for a living.
Her journey still unfolding, her voice still echoing through the valleys of time. This was chapter 2 of The Girl from the Hills. Until the next story finds its way to you, keep creating, keep believing, and keep listening to the quiet within.